Bella, do you want to start recording? Excellent. We are being recorded, so I will watch my behavior. Hey, everybody, I'm Craig Reger. I'm a co-founder of Reger Coaching Consulting. We're based here in Portland, Oregon, and we are incredibly thankful to Sphere, specifically Hayden. I can see him. Ross is probably on as well. The joy of Zoom land, I can't see everybody because I got the screen shared. They're the founders of Sphere. Incredible product, incredible human beings. My team is recent adapters over to Sphere, and they asked me to come on and talk with all of you about what we're doing in this coaching world with our clients regarding the market's changed, right? It's just considerably different now than it has been. So excited to share with all of you what we're seeing, what we're learning, what's happening with the clients that we're coaching and how they're continuing to win in their markets. Looks like we've got somewhat of a smaller group. There's probably more folks coming on board. And what I'd add to that is jump on, guys, like ask questions, use the chat bar, anything that you guys want to know. This is for you, right? Sphere's like, Craig, can you come on and help our agents dominate? So don't be shy, like use your cameras. We want to see you. We want to interact with you. It's just an hour, and hopefully we're going to bring you some tremendous value. So to warm it up, to make sure we all know how to use the chat bar, there's somebody. Who's that? I don't have names. Bummer. I just see a gentleman with a really cool background and a good-looking shirt with a mustache. Yeah, you know who you are. That's you smiling. Perfect. Just so we know the chat bar works, if all of you could just type in what city you're in and how many years you've been in real estate, that would be fantastic. So my background, 23 years in real estate. I've got a team here in Portland, Oregon. We've got a little expansion going in Salem, Oregon. We're moving into Bend as well. And my personal sales team is tracking. We're gonna see what happens this last few months because market's going backwards, but we're tracking about 500 units closed this year. I'm pretty proud of that, because we also have a national coaching consulting company that's RCC, and that's where I spend about 85% of my time. So thrilled with the fact I've got a successful team here in Portland. Coaching is my passion. We coach in every state, and it's a lot of fun. Final background on me is I, again, 23 years in real estate, started local independent here in Portland, Oregon, then moved over to the KW world. In KW, I ended up owning 6 offices, was closing just over $3 billion in volume a year with my 1,100 agents. And I sold all of those offices just about 2.5, 3 years ago, opened an independent brokerage. So I'm no longer affiliated with any company. I've got my own brokerage here in Portland, Oregon, and that's who I am. So that's your coaches today. So with that said, let's get started. So one is, I just want to tap into like, where are you guys at? We've been in a crazy ass market. Man, I already said I'd have good behavior, Bella, and I cussed in the first 3 minutes. But it is, right? We've been in a crazy ass market for the last couple of years. We go back to March, what was that, like 2020? And pandemic hit. And as a veteran in this business, somebody that lived through 2008, 2009, 2010, I'm like, wow, it's the world's over, right? Like we had a dozen sale fails out of our 30, 40 escrows at that time, and everything's locked down. And it's like the world's gonna end. Like we're saving money, we're canceling our house cleaner, we're canceling our wine clubs. Like my wife and I literally went into protection mode because I had zero confidence in what was gonna happen in the real estate market during a lockdown, which we certainly had here in the Pacific Northwest. And then ultimately, we all know what happened. It turned out to be the most robust, intense, insane, just stupid good real estate market of all time. Like just craziness. Like offering hundreds of thousands of over asking, removing inspections, waiving appraisals, allowing sellers to stay in house 30, 60, 90 days for free just so they would take our offer over our competitors. Like we had this like a period of time that's never been experienced before in real estate at such a high level. And then interest rates, what was it, somewhere between March and like May of this year, went up 3%. Like they literally doubled in about 90 days, and everything just came to a stop. And I'm not saying there's not still homes in every market getting multiple offers. In fact, I just talked to somebody in New Jersey this morning that we're coaching. She's like, my market is still seeing offers at like 110, 120% we're asking. That's the norm. But I would say that that lady in Jersey I talked to is the exception. For most of us, we're seeing inventory stacking up. Buyer urgency has gone down dramatically, and things have changed. So based on all that, like, how's your mindset? Like, where are you at? How are you feeling about it? What are your affirmations? What are you telling yourself? What are you telling others?
Hey, Craig, do you want us to unmute and talk, or put it in the chat, or?
Yeah, Ross, talk to me, buddy. Where are you seeing with your agents and people you work with co-op in your market?
I'm seeing the market. Well, for me personally, so I'm 17 years in, and this is the most rapid shift I remember. Like,
yeah.
it almost felt overnight. And the thing that has been super challenging from my team and I is, especially with sellers, where they, you go on a listing appointment and you're talking pricing and all this stuff. And they're like, yeah, but I don't understand. My neighbor's house sold for X 4 months ago. And having this discussion that it's like, it's not 4 months ago.
Yeah.
It's a new world almost overnight. And what to do about that. One of the things that we're really working on mindset wise is that we don't, there's still 1,000 sales or whatever a month in Portland, right? We don't need all of them.
Just over 2,000. Yeah.
Over 2,000. We don't need all of them. We don't. So it's like, if the market is cooling, we might have to talk to 3 times as many people to do the same business. But
100%.
But but it doesn't, like, the business is there. Let's go get it. And let's figure out how to get market share. There's going to be a lot of people leaving the business, and there's going to be more market share for us to grab. It's whoever works for it, right?
I love that, Ross. And that's the reality, right? There's just over 2,000 sales in Portland a month. There's typically 2 agents per sale, or 2 sides, buyer and seller. So that's 4,000 at-bats we have. And yes, agents are going to start leaving the business, but you're looking for the opportunity. We're going to talk a lot about that in some upcoming slides. But bottom line, you're finding the positives. And what we're finding as a coaching company or national conventions I've been attending, like, not all agents are looking through that lens, which is why I just wanted to open up with mindset. Like, where are we at? Are we like, oh my gosh, like, that's over, and now my buyers aren't making offers and blah, blah, blah. And are we bitching about it? Or are we literally getting out of bed saying, hey, my market had 4,000 opportunities last month and I got 0 of them. I got 1 of those, and I need more. I deserve more. I want more. And then we're attacking the opportunities to go after it. We know that 70% of the US population fears change. It's a staggering number. That's from like a Harvard study. 70% of the US population fears change. Like, they just don't like it. Well, guess what? We have to change what we're doing now to be different than we were. And we had to change really rapidly a year ago, and 18 months ago, and 9 months ago, and we had to change super rapidly, because I couldn't even fathom, Ross, 23 years in business, I cannot fathom writing an offer for every single client and 9 out of 10 times waiving inspection. Like, we're not even going to do inspection. Take our offer out of the other 20 others. Like, I couldn't fathom that, but I had to change my behaviors and my belief system that if somebody wants to be a homeowner in summer, fall, and winter of 2021, that is probably what it took to buy a home in Portland, or I had to change. And guess what? We have to change again, because what we were doing for the last 2 years isn't going to work in what we've stepped into. So to be successful in a changing market, you must shift in both your mental thoughts, how you look at the market, what your belief system is, and in your actions, the actual things you're doing on the ground, the tactical strategies that you're putting out there. Making that decision is the mental shift to run towards that discomfort. It's okay to do the change. Like, our clients don't know what's going on either, just as Ross, you just explained with your seller. So it's a mental shift, and that's not comfortable to explain to them. Hey, yeah, if I met with you 4 months ago, I could have got you $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 more, got everything waived, and got you to stay here for 2 months for free. It is discomforting to know that listing appointment after listing appointment, we have to have that conversation. But we have to run towards that change to take advantage of the new market. So ask yourself, what do I need to do different to win today? What activities, what mindset, what behaviors, what habits? I can tell you, for my team, I've got about 20 agents on my personal sales team. And I'm not the coach you're going to meet. It's like, right, and I came from the KW world, and I love KW, and we probably have some KW people on here, like, literally love it. Like, I would not have the success I've had in this industry without Gary Keller personally coaching me and helping me for over a decade. But also in the coaching system in KW, it's like, you got a lead gen for 3 to 4 hours a day. Well, there's a reason nobody does it, Ross. It sucks. It's horrible. I would rather die a million deaths of shaved glass. Like, it just sounds horrible. Now, on the flip side, though, as I sharing with my team, we better at least lead follow-up 30, 45 minutes, an hour a day, right? We better lead follow-up. And yes, lead gen is a necessity if you're brand new to real estate. Lead gen is a necessity if your business is absolutely at zero and your phone hasn't rang for weeks. And you actually have to go out and make connections with enough people that if some capacity raise their hand saying, I'll buy tomorrow, I'll buy next summer, I'll buy next fall, I'll sell when my son goes to college this upcoming summer, right? That's lead generation. And we only have to lead gen long enough to have a group of those people to communicate with. And I know that Sphere does a great job of helping us with that communication, an excellent job. But we only have to lead gen long enough that we build up that group of people to then stay in engagement and relationship with. And that's just simply lead follow-up. And that's an activity that my team needs to do at a really, really high level that frankly, we haven't had to do the last couple of years. So I don't know about you, your market, your personal activities, your belief system, but I guarantee for each of you, there's something or multiple somethings you need to do different today than what you were doing in January, February of this year. And I saw this on social media, Hayden, I really liked it. The order takers are about to get wrecked and the skillionaires are about to become millionaires. Well, everybody's got their camera off except for Nick. Nick, you're my favorite. Call me for free coaching. Linda, I'll put you in that group. You're driving though, be careful.
My camera's off too.
Who's that? Chris, there you are. What's up,
it's Ross. I'm
Oh no, I meant outside of the owners, Hayden and Ross.
okay. I just want to make sure.
Nick, Linda, Chris, Gabrielle's getting on. Gabrielle's got a great smile. Hi, Yasmin. The married title. I love you guys. Heidi. All right, cool. I so love getting on a plane and going and speaking publicly. And his last couple of years of like shouting into a computer, it's great. I love giving value. I love giving tactical advice. Hello, Mark. But it does add a lot more energy when I've got people to interact with than blank screens. So thank all of you that turn your cameras on. All right, I saw this on social media. The order takers are about to get wrecked. The order takers are about to get wrecked. My team opening 40, 50, 60 escrows a month per month. I don't say that in a bragging way. That's just what we do for the last year, have been order takers. We literally meet somebody on a Thursday, referral, web lead, past client, whatever you want to call it. And regardless of lead source, Ross, and we meet them on a Thursday. And by Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, over the last year and a half, more times than not, they're writing their first offer. That's an order taker. It just is. Now, what we know is a lot of times they lost 3, 4, 5 times before they actually found a winning property because there was 5, 10, 20 offers per property. But that is not a normal real estate experience to meet somebody on a Thursday. And by Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you're writing offers at 20, 30, 40,000 above asking. Can we all agree that's not normal in our industry?
That is absolutely not normal.
What's that?
So that is absolutely not normal, although it felt that way for 2 years, but that's the only 2 years ever.
Totally. So somebody put this on social media and it was just kind of funny and clever. I liked it. The order takers are about to get wrecked. And I can share with you, my team members are still believing the orders are going to come in. They're already wrecked. And when what it goes on to say is the skillionaires are about to become millionaires. What do you think that means? The skillionaires are about to become millionaires.
You've got to actually have some skills and have a plan to execute those skills to make it now. It's not just, you don't just get your license and the and you know, and money falls in your lap. You got to go get it. Yeah.
I mean, Ross, you just said that. We want to do the same amount of business now that we're doing 6 months ago. We may have to talk to twice as many people. That's a skillionaire. We may have to have a different message than, yes, I'm available to show you this home. And yes, I can help you offer 40, 50,000 over asking. And yes, I can encourage you to waive everything. That was a different skill than the skill that we need, which frankly is probably just going into somewhat of a normal market. And even though many members of my own organization have been licensed for many, many years, we got such in the cadence and the habit of the last couple of years, we kind of lost our traditional, solid, foundational real estate skills. So we want to talk about, and this is hands down, my favorite thing that we're doing, seeing, and coaching to in this market Hello, technology. We want to talk about finding the opportunity. What I love is every single market has opportunity, period. It just does. The opportunity for the last couple of years has been for sellers. Like all sellers, good homes, bad homes, backs to a freeway, has a burial ground in the backyard. It didn't matter. In the last couple of years, virtually everything sold, expireds were non-existent. In this current market, coast to coast, city by city, in some cases block by block, there's tremendous opportunity. So Ross, this is a graph I showed you first like 3 or 4 months ago. And if you look at it, this is my market here in Portland, Oregon. My staff pulls this for me every single week. If you don't have a staff, you can pull your own stats, or maybe your multiple listing. Mine is not sophisticated enough that it sends you stats that are valuable for you to study. But we look at this. This is a week old. My new one actually will come out this afternoon at 1 o'clock is when I'll see it. But the kind of mustardy color is 2021. And then the greenish color is 2022. So let's look at new listings 2021. And by the way, this is week over week, year over year. So we go to the far right. This week, a year ago, 947 listings hit my market. This week, 784. Let's go to pendings. 857 a year ago this week in my market. This year, 541, 37% decrease. So when we talk about changing market, changing the opportunity, what are we looking for? Well, that's kind of a negative, 30% decrease in pendings. All of our business is probably down unless we're doing something different. Is that fair? And by the way, I've run this coast to coast in different cities. And yes, there's variances, but it's not that different. Sold 678 versus 561. Well, shocker. If week after week pendings is down, solds is going to be down. Back on market's pretty equal, about 12%. But here's the killer. Let's look at price reductions. 92% increase in Portland, Oregon this week at 767 compared to a year ago at 400. So frankly, I don't know about you guys, but I look at this slide, I just want to be like, cool, great webinar, Craig. Let's talk about how shitty your market is. But at the end of the day, you first and foremost need to understand what's happening in your market. 17% decrease in listings, 37% decrease in pending properties, 92% increase in price reductions. What did Amerititle just say? The price reductions are through the roof, so good to provide the shift facts and figures to sellers so they can hit it today's market. Totally, right? So Ross, we're bringing this slide with us right to our listing appointments and saying, yep, your seller, your neighbor sure did get that 4 months ago. Here's what happened this week in real estate. And by the way, that graph goes back week after week. So you're right, Amerititle, it's super powerful, but I want to find the opportunity in the market, especially for my buyers. We'll talk about listings in a few minutes. Is how do we capitalize on that number? And I'll show you a script that we've been using for the last 10 days with incredible success coming up in a few minutes. But let's look at luxury. What's happening in the luxury markets? Did you guys know that coast to coast right now, you can get a jumbo rate for less than a conforming rate? You guys know that? Like substantially less. I see Chris nodding his head. Like, this is crazy, right, Chris? You can go buy a $2 million home and you can get a better interest rate on a $2 million home than buying a $600,000 home. How do you guys feel luxury is doing across the country? How's luxury doing in your market? Are the 1.3s, the 1.5s, the 2 million selling as robustly as the 4 and 500s? Odds are not. And that was one of the craziest things that Ross and I saw here in Portland, Oregon. Like we saw like just 6-7 months ago, 2, 3, 4, and $5 million homes, which there's not that many of in Portland, Oregon. We're literally selling with multiple offers just as robustly as $500,000, $600,000, and $700,000 homes. Would you agree with that, Ross?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, what's happening with them now? They're not selling at all. So do you think some of those sellers are super motivated to take a low offer? Some of those sellers are super motivated to take a low offer? Say yes. Of course they are. Well, are we sharing with our buyers, hey, there's a group of motivated luxury sellers that have to sell for some reason, and your interest rate is better on jumbo than it is on conforming. If you have any desire to buy a more expensive property, we should talk. That's what I mean about taking advantage of the opportunities. What about condos? Hey, Ross, do you enjoy taking your family to downtown Portland for dinner right now?
Not particularly. And today I did a $90,000 price reduction on a condo.
There we go. There we go. I know you guys are sprinkled throughout the country. Portland, the city I live in and love, like was known for like riots and police not being present and homeless. And we've legalized what, like meth and crack. I'm not kidding. Like that's Portland, Oregon right now. And there's some great spots. I'm not going anywhere, but that's downtown Portland. By the way, where are all the condos at? They're in downtown Portland. So can you go and get a 1.2, a 1.3 historically $1 million condo? Is there a seller that might sell for 800, 700, or 600, or 900 out of it right now? Absolutely. Now you may have to step over some homeless people to get to it, but Portland's a smart city. We're going to figure it out. We're going to clean it up. There's opportunity there. What about builders? We're seeing builders that 6 months ago were saying, hey, if you don't bring your agent here and sign him in, Mr. Buyer, we're not going to allow you to have an agent. Or if you do, we're not going to pay them. Those same builders right now are offering incentives and upgrades and certain things to buyers. There's opportunities in every market. Our job right now as real estate professionals, it's not the fun, sexy part. Our job is 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, 1 hour a week, is to research our market at a really high level and to find those opportunities and then share them with everybody we know. And when we do that, ladies and gentlemen, I can promise you, you will attract more business. And just as Ross was saying, you'll continue to do as much business as you were previously doing in this new world we live in. So let's tactically, oh, wow, losing. There we go. My slides are all over the place. So this is a tactic we've been using with just that one stats of the 767. So these are the people we met, Ross. These are the people that a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, maybe we showed them a home. Maybe we met at an open and they expressed they were interested in buying and they ghosted us. Ladies and gentlemen, do we get ghosted by potential clients? Yes, we do, especially in a changing market. And it's just a text like, hey, Ross, do you have 10 minutes to connect today? So I'm only sending this to people that know me, that have raised their hand at some point in the last 6 months about buying or selling. And for whatever reason, that conversation stopped happening. Hey, Ross, do you have 10 minutes to connect today? I found an amazing opportunity in the housing market that I want to share with you. This is probably a text that all of you could send to 5 or 10 people today, but you got to know your market stats. So what we're finding is like 8 out of 10 people responding. Like, yeah, like who doesn't want to know about an opportunity in the market? Like, sure, yeah, how's today at 1? So then I have to call, like, ring, ring. How's it going, Ross?
Good. How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for taking my call. I know we haven't spoken a bit. I was reviewing some Portland market stats this morning, and I found something that I find really unbelievable. I want to share with you. Portland sellers had 767 price reductions last week alone. 767. To put that in perspective, Ross, that is a 92% increase over this time last year. 92% increase of people lowering their price last week in Portland, Oregon compared to a year ago. Do you know what that means to me?
What does that mean?
Honestly, there's some desperate sellers. Dude, it's mid-September. If you have to sell your home, you want it sold before Thanksgiving. You want it done before Christmas. You absolutely need it done before the holidays. Nobody likes having their home on the market in the holidays or end of the year. They just don't. So 767 home sellers in Portland raised their hand the last 7 days and said, I absolutely have to sell my property. Ross, if you want a good deal on real estate, 767 people said game on, and odds are you can come in even lower. So bottom line, man, thanks for taking my call. I'm blocking out my schedule for anybody that wants a good deal. Are you interested in going out and exploring the good deals the market's offering?
Yes, and I definitely want a jumbo loan.
Perfect. I mean, would that work? Like, it's not offensive, it's not aggressive. And by the way, Mark, I'm not tied to the outcome. Like, they may be like, you know what, we're putting everything on hold till next summer. I'm not going to like badger them. In fact, nothing frustrates me more than when people post on these national real estate forums like, I've got somebody that changed their mind. What do you say? And like 1,000 experts like are convincing them, you've got to buy now. Well, screw it. Maybe they shouldn't buy now. Maybe there's a really good reason they should wait till next summer. I'm never attached to the outcome, but I'm 100% attached to the facts, which is 767 sellers said, this is not working. Let's do a lower price right as winter's coming. That tells me that my buyers can go out in Portland, Oregon and make some aggressively low offers and find a seller that's motivated. Just like your condo, Ross. What did you say? $90,000? Is that what you did?
This morning.
So to do this, you just got to find some stats in your market And then you got to reach out to a group of people and share them. And what was awesome, and I shared with you, my team's been doing this for about 10 days. I think it's awesome. There's been a big group that said, no, we're not interested. We're going to wait. Perfect. Dill, wouldn't you rather know they want to wait than to keep calling and texting and bugging them for the next 3 months? Like they literally said, great opportunity, that's fine, I'm out. Like for these reasons, we're not going to do anything for a year. Perfect. Well, then we'll stay in communication with you. We'll work with our amazing CRM sphere and we'll stay in relationship with you. But we're not going to bug you because you've got a good reason to wait. Now, another group said, I had no idea. All I heard is things are really bad and rates have gone up. Like based on that, we should get in the car. I definitely want to see some homes this weekend. That's our job every day, is to find that group. It's literally that simple. All right, let's go to the next one. Time blocking. Well, my PowerPoint is just aggressive with me today. Here we go. All right. Well, double time blocking. Time blocking. I can share this as a coach at a really high level. Any one of you want to be brave enough to send me your calendar for the last 2 weeks? Send me a screenshot of it, Heidi, Mark. And you're not going to, I'm not asking you to. But if you sent me your calendar for the last couple of weeks, I could predict at a very accurate level how many homes you've sold. Send me your calendar for the last 90 days, and I can predict at a really accurate level how many closings you have had or have not had. Do you guys believe that? Send me your calendar for the last 6 months, and I can predict an extremely accurate level how fat or how skinny your checking account is from real estate, right? You may have some other resource that just loads it up each month, good for you. But give me 6 months of analyzing your calendar, and I bet I can predict in the high 90% range how your business is going. On a side note, I don't want to get too crazy today, I could probably predict your fitness. I could probably predict your relationship with your kids and your spouse or partner as well. But this is a business conversation. Show me your calendar and I can predict your business. So the question is, what a great time for Sphere to bring me on. Thank you so much, Hayden and Ross. The question is, does your schedule match your goals? So let's not worry about the last 3 months. Let's not worry about the last 6 months. Let's worry about starting tomorrow. Can we build a schedule that matches our goals? Tim, I intend to sell 6 homes between now and the end of the year. What schedule do I need? Well, based on what we just talked about, I probably need an hour a week to research my local market and to come up with that opportunity and to verbalize or write down how I'll share that opportunity with my Sphere database. Does that make sense? So that'd be an example of our schedule matching our goals, is I might put that down for 1 hour a week, research market. Cool, I now know the market, and I found that new construction and luxury are big, and condos are big opportunities in my markets. Now I should schedule an hour or 2 a week in some capacity to share that message with groups of people that might be interested. That would be an example of, does my schedule match my goals? Does that make sense? The next thing I'd ask is, what adjustments will you make? Is that on lead generation? We talked about that earlier. Do you have plenty of people you know? You just got to follow up with them. So then maybe it's just lead follow-up. You have to put lead follow-up on your schedule. Are you super nervous and insecure of what you're going to say? That's not weird. Cool. We actually call that script practice. So should we practice something for 15 minutes a day? I don't know how many of you are football fans. There was some amazing games this weekend. I got to sit on the couch and watch football all weekend long. It was phenomenal. And it just inspires me. Like, these are the greatest athletes on the planet in their God-given sports. They were studs in grade school. They were beasts in middle school. They were the best in their city or state in high school. They were the best in their college. And now they've made it to the NFL. And they might play, Ross, 15, 20, 30 minutes a game, and they might practice 30, 40, 50 hours a week. Isn't that crazy? They're the most God-given, talented, and skilled at what they do. And they actually use that craft 30 minutes a week or less and practice 30, 40, 50 hours a week. Yet most of us in our industry spend 0 time practicing. And then we complain and bitch, oh my God, the market changed, my buyer's terminated, and it's really hard. Well, it might be a little bit less hard if we spend a little bit more time practicing. Is that fair? It's up to you, it's your business.
So I love the idea of practicing. I love the idea of practicing for the, for hours just for the game time, which is the listing presentation or buyer presentation. It's a great idea.
It is. I was leading, same person I was mentioning, we talked about in New Jersey, and she's got an abundance of leads and she's showing a bunch of homes to new people, but they're not converting them. And I had another RCC coach, that's our coaching company, Reger Coaching Consulting. And the coach sitting next to me on that call this morning said, it's the prep. I guarantee they're not prepping. I guarantee they're not researching that home, that market, that school district, that street, that neighborhood, and stepping into that meeting as the most knowledgeable person on the planet of what's happening there. Because if we do the right prep and we blow them away in that 15 or 20 minutes of meeting them, odds are everything else falls into place. So what adjustments do you need to make to sell more homes? Lead generation, lead follow-up, script practice. How committed are you to your goals? What do you need to block out on your calendar to reach those goals? The momentum will build, I promise you. I promise you, this market should not impact your business. Momentum will build and it will get easier as our business is sequential, right? You do this activity and you have this result, and that leads to more referrals. And then you keep doing that activity. So now you've got more referrals coming in, plus that base of business. It's sequential that it keeps building. It's not simultaneous. It just takes consistency. I think if I could wrap up what it will take to win in this market, it's consistency in all things. Hey, Bella, I've got the amazing Bella with here today. She's a tremendous part of our RCC team. Bella, if there's any questions being asked in the chat bar, like just grab me or interrupt me so I can hit those, okay? Perfecto. I'm just double clicking the machine today. We're going back to relationships. As I indicated, there's exceptions to this. I'm kind of exaggerating the point, but there was a lot of people we met on Tuesday and had in contract by Saturday, Ross, or at least we're writing crazy offers for them. And I think we got away from what I love most about this industry is getting to know people, understanding their needs and goals, and then being that expert that helps them go from here to here. Selling their home with the least amount of stress for the most amount of money, purchasing that home so they can be closer to work, have a shorter commute, and spend more time with their family, buying that bigger home to raise their growing family, and downsizing because their kids have just gone off to college. I think we lost a lot of that in the craziness of the last couple of years. So there's a very simple acronym. Most of you, if not all of you, have heard it. And you can do a test on this as well, right? Part of that time blocking, does my schedule match my goals? Time block 20 minutes for this. And go through your current pipeline, that's your current clients that you're working with, not the people that are gonna buy in a year. These are the current people you're showing homes to daily, weekly, or monthly. And just ask yourself, family, what do you know about them? What do you know about their kids? What do you know about where their parents live? What do you know about where their grandkids live? Occupation, what do they do for a living? What does that look like? Recreation, what is their fun? Do they fish? Do they golf? Do they weave baskets? What are their dreams and hopes? Because I'll bet you this, if you've got a fairly to strong understanding of Ford for each of your clients, your business is going to be just fine over the next 6 or 7 months. If you're lacking in some or most of these areas, your business might be lacking a bit as well. So go deeper on the relationship. At the end of the day, we certainly have time now to go deeper on the relationship we didn't have before. It was just a complete sprint prior to this. And it can be, I see Gabrielle nodding her head, like we've got more time. Like literally we would show them a home, we'd reach out to the listing agent. If they had the courtesy to call us back or text us back, which didn't always happen, it's like, yeah, we got 5 offers. So your client was like right now making split decisions, yes. Well, now they're like, well, I really like that home, but why don't we see 5 or 6 others? Because in most cases, well, hell, we already know 92% increase in price reductions. In most cases, that home they like is still going to be for sale 4, 5, or 6 days from now. So they've got time to breathe. They've got time to look at other properties. They've got time to think about it, pray about it, like see it a second or third time. So if they've got the time, we might as well have the time to work on Ford. Is that fair? Awesome. Okay. We doing okay so far for the 6 or 7? You guys can see we got a thumbs up.
This is great.
All right. Dill's taking a bunch of notes. Looking good, Dill. Good job. All right. Share. Single click. Winning. All right, database communication. What's really cool about this is Hayden and Ross are the founders of Sphere. What do you guys call it? Like the anti-CRM?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And
We'd love to come up with a, we'd love to come up
with
with another term altogether.
Yeah. And what was the mindset behind, you know, that cute name behind it? I don't even know if that's public, but it is now. Like, why did you guys do that?
Well, you know, first of all, when people hear there's so many CRMs and they're so similar to each other, and when people hear CRM, usually their brains shut off. And really, what we were trying to do is have something that takes all the prep out of what actually moves the needle in a real estate business and get you talking to people. And so that was, you know,
I think a big part of it as well was we talked to a bunch of industry veterans as we got into this, and the people that we felt were most thoughtful about it were really down on CRMs because, I mean, really because of the things that you've just been talking about. It was, hey, all I've got to do is buy 10,000 leads, throw them into a drip campaign, and I'm going to be a gajillionaire. And their view was that's the opposite of the way to build a good real estate business. And the things that Sphere's trying to do are not at all sexy. It's not at all, you know, 10,000 leads streaming into a robot or whatever, but it's the basic blocking and tackling of building a good real estate business or any other kind of business. It's, you know, it's developing authentic relationships and whatnot.
I love that. Thank you, Hayden. That's why I'm so thankful you allowed me to come and share with your Sphere, your audience today, is that's the foundation of our coaching company. I mean, it just is. It's like, mind you, there's certain people that for certain reasons relocate to a city they've never been in. Like, yeah, you better door knock, you better do opens, you might consider cold calling. You should join some networking groups because you have to build that in that marketplace. But for most of us, like, we came from a previous life. We've got kids in local sports. We worked at Nike and had influence in relationships. And they look at us as that Nike guy that was a designer that was super rad. And they don't look at us yet as a person to trust for all their real estate needs for themselves, their family, and friends. And you guys have bridged that gap with Sphere, and we have bridged that gap as a coaching company. So let's just talk about that for a couple of minutes. So first off, 24 touches a year. Guys, that's not a lot. It's twice a month. So just as I said, show me your calendar and I can predict your level of business. I would also say, show me how frequently you communicate with your Met database, and I can likely predict your business at a very, very high level. We believe at Reger Coaching Consulting that your past clients, your family, and your friends should hear from you in some capacity, period, a minimum of twice a month. And that's not a lot. I started getting hooked on buying stuff online a few years ago. I got to tell you, Ross, there's companies that reach out to me every single day. And I hit delete, 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 delete. And then one day I need a new pair of shoes and there's Nordstrom reaching out to me again. And I hit open and I type in shoes. Guess what? The last 4 pairs of shoes I bought pop right up. And I go and I pick one or I pick a new one. And 24 hours later, they're at my door. The best companies communicate at a high level. We recommend at least twice a month. But let's be clear, this is our Met database. Hayden, I loved what you said, right? We can swipe our visas all day long and put people we don't know on drip campaigns. And we'll talk a little bit more about that before today's webinar ends. And we can get success from that. But if we communicate and build authentic, I think that's the word you used, relationships with the people that know us and previously used us, our business will weather any storm. And make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, in my market with a 92% increase in price reductions and a 37% decrease in pendings, we're in a real estate storm in Portland, Oregon. And it's those authentic relationships that will weather it. So this is a self-reflecting time. How frequently, here's the test, and I asked this if I'm coaching in a big room. I moved to your city, let's call it Phoenix, Arizona. You're the agent there 1 year ago today. 1 year ago today, you handed me the keys. You gave me a gift basket, you gave me a hug, you were a kick-ass agent. My wife and I are so grateful for you. Here's the question. It has been 1 year today since you handed us the keys. How frequently have you communicated with us? If that answer is less than 12, fix it. If it's more than 20, good for you. And we can what's that?
There's that amazing NAR stat that I repeated too much, but I think it just epitomizes a huge portion of success or failure in the industry. And that's 86% of people at the end of a transaction say that they'd use their realtor again. 14% do.
Hayden, I use that stat weekly in coaching, if not daily. What the hell? 9 out of 10 people said, you were great, Dill, I'll use you again. And not Dill, of course, but our industry as a whole, 1 to 2 out of 10 actually use us again. Why? We lost relationships. Like I can teach not exaggerating, you guys want me back? I can teach a 12-hour class on this. I can get on a big loud stump. We got the craziest business in the world. Like think about open houses, and don't fry me here. Opens are great, but think about opens. I'm gonna go to a stranger's home and hold it open. I'm gonna hope other strangers go through. I'm gonna hope those strangers give me their contact info. I'm gonna hope those strangers allow to connect with me when I reach out, and I'll hope those strangers allow me to sell them a home. Yes or no, is that not the premise of an open? And they are phenomenal sources of business, but that is the premise of an open. Yet you just closed a transaction with Susie and Bob. You spent 2 months busting your butt for them. And then we lose contact and relationship with them after closing. You can't tell me that's not weird. All right, so our Met database is people that know us, ways to stay in touch, phone calls, text, emails, social media messages, client events. We'll talk about that in a second. Mailers, house anniversaries. Congrats, Ross. It's been a year today since you bought your home. How the heck are you guys? Birthdays, Popeyes. It is not that hard to stay in touch. The question is, are you staying in touch with your people? And if not, let's start today. Here's an actual touch that went to my database last Friday. It's going to sound pretty familiar because it's based on the market stats we pulled last Tuesday. Hope you had a great summer. As we're heading into the end of the year, you probably know the real estate market has really changed. With inflation and rising rates, buyer demand is way down. This is to my personal database, literally 4 days ago. Naturally, price reductions are starting to come down too. Just last week alone in Portland, we had 767 price reductions. I'm not going to bore you guys. I could read on and on. But is that a good message right now to send to my family, my friends, and my past clients? Please say yes. And I didn't read the last 2 paragraphs, but they basically start sharing. Based on that, there's some opportunities. Tim, if you're a seller in Portland, Oregon, and you've owned your home for more than 3 years, I would venture to say you've made at least $150,000 and maybe $400,000 over the pandemic rise. Tim, bad news as a seller, your price is going down right now. The good news, if you made 400, you maybe only lost 50 of it. If you want to sell, call me now. Buyers on the flip side, there were 767 price reductions. If you want a good deal, I can find you a motivated seller. You guys see there's opportunity in every market. I'm sharing that with my past clients, my family and friends. And I'd encourage all of you to do that as well. And by the way, if you want to copy these slides, Bella, can you just put in your email address? Just reach out to Bella. We're not going to bug you guys, but I'm happy to send them to you. Here's one of my favorite, like tried and true database scripts, because we're always worried. What do we say? What do we say? Here's what I'm not going to say. Like, hi, I'm in a competition. Do you know anybody wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? I cannot personally do or coach to those calls. I'm not saying they're not effective. I just won't do it. But I will call up people and be like, ring, ring. Hey, Ross.
Hey, Greg.
How you been, man? It's been a while since we talked. How's everything with you and the family in the house?
Everything's great. Thanks.
Right on. Well, hey, I won't take much of your time. I just wanted to let you know that although it's sunny today, winter is coming. And it's a great time to get your furnace cleaned and serviced before the cold months get here. I just negotiated an outstanding deal with ABC Heating, a local company here I really trust. And they're going to give $50 off any cleaning and servicing of a furnace. Would you like me to send you that coupon?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Awesome, dude. I'll shoot that over to you now. Give my best to the family. And before I let you go, do you guys have any real estate goals or needs I need to be aware of coming up for next year?
Yeah, I think I want to sell next year. So keep in touch with me.
I will. Is that an easy script, right? And we can play with that in so many ways. You know, one of my belief systems, real estate agents, is you've got the ability to put Angie's List, or it didn't just get changed to Angie. You've got the ability to put them out of business. You realize that your clients are going online to find handymen, painters, furnace companies, landscapers, roofers. Don't we know all of these people? Don't we interact with them every single day in our buying and selling experiences through home inspections, repair negotiations, etc.? This is the easiest script in the world, Nick. Like, we know these people. By the way, that's not a hard call. You know, call up your favorite handyman and ask, like, hey, buddy, I've got a database of like 1,000 family, friends, and past clients here in Portland, Oregon. Can I promote your company to them? They're going to say yes every time. And then you just simply give an item of value to your clients. It's super easy, super easy. All right, let me share a few more things, and then we'll wrap up today. Client events. Guys, I don't want to say COVID's over because I had it 7 days ago, Ross. It kind of kicked my butt. But can we at least say that isolation and going out in public for the most part's over? Interact with your people, get face-to-face, spend time with them. Pictures in the park. It's one of my favorites. Get a couple of photographers, invite all your family, friends, and clients for professional photos. Ice cream truck, VIP wine events. By the way, I love wine, so shocker, a lot of my events are based around wine. It's a smaller group. I'll bring the winemaker in to pour. It's super fun. Easter egg hunts, pie giveaways, movie nights. You can run a movie so inexpensively and bring 100, 200 people to it. Investor 1031 exchange brunches. I love those. To complete a 1031 exchange, two things have to happen. They've got to sell a property and buy a property. You get 2 sales from every one of those. You don't have to be an expert. Call your friends at AmeriTitle, call your local title companies and be like, who do you have on your roster that's an expert at 1031? Bring them in to teach the class. First time buyer seminars. And there's so many more. So we talked about, does your schedule match your goals? I hope all of you have goals next year to have multiple client events. And your schedule should start tomorrow for planning those out. Does that make sense? You don't want to do ice cream in November in Portland. It's cold and it's raining. So we'll do the ice cream event in July. But the wine event sounds super fun in October. We don't want to do the pictures in the park. It's raining. So let's do that in August or September. Plan it out and start working on that now. And you get so many touches through it. You get to invite them. You get to follow up. So you get to see them at the event. You get to thank them for coming after, or something came up, they didn't make it. Sorry, we missed you. Create a VIP list of your biggest supporters. Make sure they're always invited first to do special things for them. Social media. If you're on social media, most of us are, don't be afraid to share what you do. Just be consistent, be intentional, interact. Friend and comment your followers. It's a great way to stay in contact with your past clients. Personal and business ratio. We coach either 4-to-1 or 6-to-1. If you're super loud and you don't care, then 4 personal posts to 1 business post. Does that make sense? If you're a little more conservative, you don't want to offend anybody, then maybe a 6 or 7-to-1. But intentionally share, like, what a great post. Hey, Portland, there's a 92% increase in price reductions this week. There's some good deals out there. Call me if you're interested. You can't tell me if you do that. If your entire team did that post, Ross, I guarantee you get a couple leads off of it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. All right, sellers. Well, if you bring the right data, pricing correctly is a little bit easier. Not easy, a little bit easier. Create a plan. Talk about the market. Talk about what could happen. Set expectations. If you're going a little higher than you want, maybe get a price reduction signed in advance for 14 or 21 days out. And then my absolute favorite is the honeymoon phase. So raise your hand if you've been married or want to get married or know somebody that's married. There we go. Tim's not sure. Tim, you know somebody that's married. Don't be shy. All right. Honeymoons are supposed to be the great time. That's why they're called the honeymoon. We believe with our listings, like everybody had a honeymoon for the last 2 years. Good news, Ross. It's been 3 days and you have 42 offers. Like, that's a honeymoon in all in its own. Can you guys agree with that?
Definitely.
In this new market, that's not happening as frequently. So honeymoon phase is where you do something positive for your seller for the first 10 days on the market. Maybe you drop off flowers before the open house on day 3. Maybe you give Zillow market stats and show, hey, you've had 800 viewings on Zillow and 300 saves. Every single day for 10 days, including the weekends, a text, an email, a drop off, a phone call, something happens positive to give to your clients. And we know what the purpose is if we do something positive, regardless of how many showings are getting or what the feedback is. If we have a pre-planned 10-day positive schedule to let our clients know we're on this, we're working hard, we care about you, and we're committed. On day 11, if things aren't going well for feedback, showings, offers, you've built their trust through that honeymoon phase at a higher likelihood of them taking your advice for a price reduction. And if nothing else, it just feels good to treat people that well. My personal sales team got drastically away from the honeymoon phase. Oh, thank you in our title. We didn't need to do it the last couple of years. We really need to do it now. All right, a couple more slides. We'll go to some Q&A and we'll wrap up. Hayden, Ross, you okay with how we did so far today?
This is awesome. So appreciate you, Greg.
Fantastic.
I'm just trying to put a lot of stuff, like any one of these I could go in depth for hours on, as could all my coaches at RCC. I'm just trying to give a lot of takeaways, some energy, but some things I hope everybody's thinking about. How frequently talk to your database. Does your schedule match your goals? I hope we're thinking about where we started. How's our mindset? We could just start with those things. We're in pretty good shape. Hayden, you brought it up. I'm a tremendous believer in buying leads. I'm not a tremendous believer in buying leads and putting them on a drip campaign and letting them sit in a CRM. So in a coaching world, we help people, and right, like you can fry me later. We help agents dominate on Zillow. We help people dominate on Boomtown. We help them dominate with Sync. But it's a very intentional plan, and we coach to it. And you don't have to do the coaching to it. If you're good at it, don't be afraid to buy leads. If you bought leads in the past and you just wasted your visa that month or that quarter or that year, then stop buying them and get help from somebody that can help you convert them at a really high level. But I don't believe we should buy leads until we have dominated and communicated. And as Hayden taught, I love that word, until we have authentic relationships with our database. And if we're doing that, we're doing business from it, and then we want to add another pillar of success, call me, text me, email me. Bella, put your email or cell phone in, pretty please. She can help you find me, and I will help you learn how to buy leads and get a 2, 3, or 4x return. Sound good? Awesome. All right, we're doing great on time. 2 slides. 2 slides. All right, I promised Hayden and Ross that my goal today was to bring all of you value. And I was like, just at the end, I'm gonna put a couple quick sales pitches in. And here it is. And then we'll go to Q&A. Our coaches are bringing a class. I think Ross might be one of the coaches doing this, called Vision of Reality. It's over a month out. It's October 24th through November 4th. It's an hour a day. 1 hour a day. It's all recorded. We prefer to have you live, but if you can't be on it, you'll get the recording. We're going to start out with vision, goal setting, tracking. By the way, in October, it is a great time to set our vision for 2023. The next group is going to be strategy. What's our daily habits? What's happening with our database? How's our prospecting or lead follow-up? What scripts and systems are we using? Next series is process. Operations. Operations would include things like the 10-day honeymoon phase I just discussed. Conversion, our financials. In real estate, in Texas, we call it big hat, no cattle. In real estate, I call it big BMW, no money. Right? I've never seen an industry where people make more money and have less. So we're going to help you learn how to understand your financials and have the most profitability in your business. If you want to scale up, the next series is on hiring, training, retention. We all see these teams in our office where their team is a revolving door. We don't do that. We don't believe in that. We believe when you bring somebody in your world, we look at it like a relationship or a marriage, and we bring in the right people. We work through the good and bad, and we help them have tremendous success in our organization. And the last part of the series is implementing, how to put it all together. We've got 10 coaches leading this 10-day series. I looked at their production yesterday, Ross. These 10 coaches last year closed over 1 billion in production. So they're pretty darn good at what they're doing. I think I'm personally leading 2 of the 10. Based on the value of our coaches and what they charge for their typical one-on-one coaching, this is a $2,000 value. We're opening it up at $399, but for a gratitude to Hayden and Ross, we're going to offer it to all of you for $199 if you sign up today. So you can go to that QR code. If you want to know more, Bella's put her email address and cell phone number in. It's going to be an incredible class. 10 days of coaching for an hour a day. There you have it. All right, final slide. I'll go to Q&A. Our base and our background is we coach greatness. We're very, very good at one-on-one coaching. That's it's intense. It's 45 calls a year. It's essentially 4 calls a month with 8 weeks off for holidays and vacations. It's 30 to 45 minutes a call. Ross is one of our fantastic coaches. We have dozens of others. No obligation if you guys want to reach out, talk about what we do, get some accountability, get some systems, get some teaching of what we're seeing and working in the market. We'd love to help you with it. So for a free buyer consult, you can use that QR code, or you can just visit Reger Coaching Consulting or text Bella. So the class for sure for $200, I hope all of you join it. The one-on-one coaching, there's probably a group of you that's ready for it and or needs it. Reach out. We won't pressure you. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my sales pitch. That is my value. I have 2 minutes to go. What questions, comments, excitements do you all have?
So while people are either typing questions or going to put their mic on, I just also want to say it has been an incredible experience to be a coach with RCC. And not only that, but because of it, I hired a coach from RCC for myself. I'm not only a coach, I'm also a client. And my business has already started to transform. I mean, I thought I had a lot of stuff going on. As soon as I was exposed to the other coaches and saw what they were doing, I saw so many different places I could grow. And now I have somebody pushing me to grow. So I really encourage anyone who's interested in being coached, check it out. It's so worth it.
I love that, Ross. Thank you for that. True. And I didn't pay Ross to do that testimonial. At the end of the day, our coaching runs about $12,000 a year. Most of you work in markets where your average commission is $9,000 to $13,000. So let's look at that. 45 calls, 1 extra sale pays for it, period. And beyond that, it's all profit. So up to you guys. I hope I gave you some great value. Hope I gave you some concepts, some ideas. And I hope you enjoyed the hour with us. So thank you all so much. To Sphere, you guys are a great company with leaders that I respect inside and outside the industry. So thank you, Hayden and Ross. And to everybody, thank you so much. We've got 3 months and 10 days left in this year. Let's make it purposeful. All right, everybody.
Thank you. Hey, Greg, before you shut it off, we're getting a request to show that screen again. They missed the QR code.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. All right, so that's coaching greatness. That's for the one-on-one coaching. And this is the $199 class for the 10-day series with 10 expert coaches. Awesome. And again, if you guys need anything, we're easy to find. Just reach, text, call, or email. We'll get you whatever you want, including the slides. All right, everybody. Are we good, Ross?
We're great, man. I really, really appreciate your time. This has been.
Yeah, thanks so much to you and your team for setting this up. This was amazing.
My pleasure. I'm going to do a 4-hour series of this in Phoenix, Arizona. So you guys got the abbreviated version. If anybody wants to go to Phoenix and get some sunshine with me in October, just let us know. All right, everybody. Thanks. Take care.
All right. Have a great one. Bye.